gentlemen, the time has finally come. The killer has officially been revealed in this week's episode of Erased. So if you do not want to be spoiled, I highly suggest going to watch this episode right now and coming back to this review. So let me just go ahead and get the elephant out of the room. Called it! Got him! It was the frickin' teacher, Yashiru. Yes, he is the killer, he is the abductor, and he is the one who has been doing all of these heinous acts throughout the course of the entire series. The evidence was there. It was all over the place. He had access to all of this privy information, not to mention he has multiple cars filled with candy and laxatives and all types of creepy shit. Not only that, but he really started to get on to what Satoru was actually doing. So much so that he actually started to even believe that he had the ability to see into the future. That in and of itself is pretty damn creepy. But the creepiest scene of this week's episode is when he is officially revealed as the killer in this incredibly tense car ride with both Yashiru, the teacher, and Satoru. The most shocking thing about this scene is that it basically comes out of nowhere. It's just completely disturbing, because the first half of the episode is them actually helping out that other girl by the name of Aya Nakanishi, and she ends up joining their group, going to their hideout, and they all end up becoming best friends, and everybody's all happy. Seems like everything's just going to be wrapped up perfectly here, until towards the end of the episode, it looks like the teacher has actually tricked Satoru into going to this hockey match so that he could abduct him himself, reveal his plans, and end up killing him by drowning him in a car in the middle of a lake in the middle of nowhere while it is snowing. The episode actually ends with Satoru seemingly drowning in this lake, which honestly makes a lot of the imagery in the opening of this series make a lot more sense. What with the school flooding and even some of the scenes from the ending of the series. A lot of things are going to fall into place in this episode right here. Now, the motives of the teacher, however, really aren't all that special. Basically, he's just a creepy killer. Simple as that. But he's noticed that ever since Satoru has been following around all these people, that he's basically been stopping all of his plans, and he's always thought that that was just a little too strange, so he's decided to put a stop to it. And the scene where they're driving and going after that one guy's truck, the guy who was the original killer, I think his name is Jun Shiratori, he's actually his father, it's all actually a ruse. This is all a part of his plan to get him to go far away so that he can actually kill him. And the minute they start to pan over to his black gloves with him just tensely tapping on the steering wheel, you know that something is not quite right. That, and of course when he finally starts to talk to him, not like a child, but actually like an adult. He actually is starting to get really serious with him, and it's frankly really disturbing, mostly when Satoru actually finally realizes this, because he starts to really beat himself up about it, because he even himself realizes it's so obvious, it had to be him, but there's no way that he could have believed this, because there was all of this evidence, and there was this one evidence list which had his mom's name on it, as well as the teacher's, so he just completely dismissed it and think that there was no way that this could possibly happen. Not to mention, it makes sense because he's been going out of his way to help out Kaio with the child services and everything, and it's just so messed up when it is finally revealed. Especially that one final shot where you get to see Satoru's mother waiting for him to come home, you have Kaio going to see her grandmother, Aya hanging out with her brand new friends, and you realize that even though he saved all of them, he has put himself in mortal danger at this point. And to make matters worse, he's completely stuck in the car, because apparently this car has been rigged so that the seatbelt cannot be unlocked. Not only that, but I have to admit that the teacher is very clever in how he actually performed this, because the way he actually made the car go into the water is that he used a basketball, which is really clever because any kid would have a basketball. It just, there's nothing there that would prove that someone would actually intentionally try to do that. It's obviously some sort of big mistake that would have put this car in the water, and he's basically just going to leave. And what's really creepy, probably the creepiest scene to me personally, was when he mentions that this really isn't his car at all. He actually has a number of different cars which look slightly different, which he uses when he preys upon his victims. Frankly, my friends, this was a pretty creepy episode, which, when you finally learn the truth and you rewatch some of the other episodes and you see the intro and the ending, everything is going to start making a lot more sense. So, what's the rundown on this week's episode of Erased? I'm Excited to know who the killer is. I'm also slightly disappointed because it's so obvious who it was, like practically from the beginning. There was so much evidence there. And hell, even when you look at the intro of the show, there's so much evidence pointing towards the teacher as well. But still, I think we're going to have to learn a little bit more. I want to learn more about this guy's motives, and frankly, what's going to happen to Satoru at this point. I mean, technically, since he has saved everyone who was abducted all those years ago, shouldn't he go forward back in time to the way he really was? I mean, is that what's going to actually happen now? Is that what's going to save him at the last second? Why is it waiting this long to trigger another revival event? Is he simply just going to have to continue to live in the past again and have to relive all the events of his life? And unfortunately, he just got dealt a bad card? I'm not really sure. All I know is this is one of the most tense, creepy episodes of any anime that I've ever seen, and that entire car ride had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. So, fantastic episode right here. A great thriller, and I can't wait to see how they're going to wrap all this up in the next 2 episodes. I mean, obviously, I think Satoru is going to be fine, and he's probably eventually going to reveal who the killer actually is, but we're just going to have to wait and see how that's all going to go down. I really can't wait to see what the future events are going to be like from this point on, and hopefully we'll get to see more of those in the last couple episodes of the series. This week's episode was a real shocker. It came out of nowhere. I didn't expect that we would get a reveal this early. I thought it wouldn't even come until the very end of the series. So this is a pretty big deal for Erased because a lot of the mystery is now gone, and now it's really even more mysterious as seeing how it's all going to finish, which is something that I honestly did not expect at all. And that's another reason to check out this series. It's so atmospherically amazing. It's got some great art direction behind it, and it's got a great cast of characters. So, fantastic freaking episode. My throat is killing me, so I'm going to end this review right now. I'm giving this one right here a 5 out of 5. Check it out, Erased fans. You will definitely not be disappointed, and let's get excited to see what they're going to do for the finale of the series in the coming weeks. If you guys did watch this week's episode of Erased, please tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below. Was your theories correct? Did you think the teacher was going to be the killer? Are you disappointed by learning that the teacher was indeed the abductor? What do you want to see from the final 2 episodes of Erased? Please tell me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching this review. Make sure to like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.